Are you looking to spice up your Instagram feed? There's been a look and a style that's been created on Instagram that's become really popular by many photographers and cinematographers over the years. And personally, I've hopped on this trend a couple years ago and I love how it displays my photography. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to create this look on your Instagram. You need to realize that if you choose to create this look, it requires you to do 3 posts at a time in order to create a consistent looking feed. This means that if one day you say to yourself, the style isn't really something I want to keep up, then your grid is going to look really strange when people scroll through your page because the photos are going to be offset. So this is a long-term commitment and it requires maintenance. Okay, so now that you're ready to commit, let's get into it. So to create this seamless looking image within 3 posts without any gaps or separation between the shots, I'm using Photoshop. And down below in the description, you're going to find a free template that you can use to follow along as I do this in Photoshop. Okay, so as you click on the downloaded file, it's going to pop open to this file here. So I use this template to create carousels, but we're just going to be focusing on using the 3 boxes that are separated by the grid lines. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drag in my photo that I want to use on my Instagram. And so I'm just going to drag that over, zoom in a little bit. And so what I need to do is I need to scale this up across 3 boxes. So each line that is created by these grid lines creates a 4x5 square box, and each 4x5 square box represents 1 frame within Instagram. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stretch this image over across 3 frames here. And then I'm going to make sure my subject is perfectly framed here in the center of those 3 grid boxes, and then I'm going to hit check. Okay, now it's important to make sure that there's no gaps on the sides, top, or bottom. So for example, if you moved up your photo, you don't want any white to be showing through on your image here. And so as I place this image back into the center here, I'm going to stretch this out just a little bit more, center it out. Okay, so this would be represented as 1 line on our Instagram feed. And the beauty is you can get as creative as possible. You can add things like text, or you can overlay images, which I've done many times on my Instagram. It's just honestly as creative as you want to make it. Okay, so once we're happy with what we have, we're going to go up to File, we're going to go to Export, we're going to go to Save for Web, and then what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that it's on JPEG here. We can set our quality to 100%. We're going to hit Save, and you're going to choose the file in which you want to save this under. Okay, so I'm going to hit save. And now when I go into that file, it's going to say images here. So when I click on that, you're going to have a bunch of blanks because these are just representative of a 4x5 that's being printed. As I said, I usually use these for carousels, but what we're going to do is we're going to take these 3 images here and we're going to export them to our phone. So for me, I use AirDrop. I'm just going to AirDrop them. Okay, so I have the images on my phone, but oftentimes you don't really know how these images are going to look on your original feed unless you can visually see it. And that's why I use an app called Unfold. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go into the free app and I'm going to show you guys how I plan out each post. Okay, so what you're going to want to do is when you're in the app, you're going to want to go to plan. And if you haven't already, you're going to want to connect your account in order to be able to see your whole Instagram feed and what's live right now. And then the next step is you're going to hit Add Grid. You're going to choose the 3 images that you want to implement. And as you can see, it implemented them backwards. So I'm just going to have to drag this image to the right, this image to the center, and now we have our full image to see what it would look like on our Instagram feed. Now personally, I think that this style and color actually fits my profile, so I'm actually really happy with this look. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna hop over into Instagram. Now before you go ahead and just post this strip of images, there's a couple things I think that you should be thinking about. As photographers, it's our job to take the viewer on a journey. So in my opinion, it's always better to share follow-up pictures within a carousel after that initial picture. I've noticed that doing this actually gives me more engagement on my posts and provides more context to my initial cover photo. Now just note that when you exported those 3 images to get your initial cover photo, those photos were exported in a 4x5 aspect ratio. Often I personally like to use wider images within my carousel posts. So I'll go into Photoshop, I'll create a new 4x5, I'll place my image on a white background, and I'll scale that image down just the way that I like it. And that's something that I personally do that I just wanted you to be aware of. My friend John Hebert does it a little bit different where he extends 2 photos over 2 carousels, which I think is cool too, but it just adds a totally different look. So now as we go to the posting phase, we need to make sure that our photos are in order. And yeah, I know it sounds a little bit basic, but I've actually messed this up a couple times. So you need to be sure that the photo that's going to be to the right of your frame is actually posted first, because as you post the second, third, it's going to slide that image all the way to the right and it's going to be in concise order. If you like this video and want to level up your photography looks, I think you'll also like this video where I talk about one thing that all professional photographers do to create cinematic shots. All right, I'll see you over in that video. Peace.